Today I'll be teaching you how to brighten up someone's eyes and change someone's eye color, all in Affinity Photo on the iPad. This is a really fun video, so let's get into it. This here image was downloaded from unsplash.com. If you've been following my channel, if you've been following my tutorials, you know that I love going to unsplash.com. There's lots of royalty-free photos that we can download and play with, and it's absolutely fantastic. And for this photo, I'll put the link in the description below. And for this tutorial, I was looking for someone with eyes that we could maybe brighten up a bit and maybe even change color. And I came across this image and I thought that would be a really good image to work on. So by pinching in 2 fingers, we'll bring it up nice and big. And the quality of some of the images on Unsplash is absolutely unbelievable. Now, I haven't really looked at adjustment layers too much. There's going to be more and more videos coming soon looking in and explaining what adjustment layers are, but we're just going to touch on it today. And by clicking into the adjustment studio, there's lots and lots of things: black and white, brightness and contrast, color channel. There's lots of things, and it gives a bit of a preview of what each of these things could do. And for the sake of this tutorial, we're going to go into brightness and contrast. So we're going to click into it and nothing seemingly happens. But if we go into layers now, we've got our background layer and our adjustment layer. And what an adjustment layer does is anything below this layer, anything we put below this layer is going to be affected by this adjustment layer. At the minute, if we click into it, nothing's happening. But as soon as we put the brightness up, you will see we can go to extreme and make it like way too extreme. 2 fingers to put it back to where it was. I'm gonna go fairly bright and make it fairly contrasty. And what's happening at the minute is the whole image is being affected by this adjustment layer. So we can click off it. So that's what the image is before. With this adjustment layer, that's what it's looking at now. So if we click this arrow, we're working on the eyes. But what I want to do, seeing we've done a few videos about masking, is I'm going to mask these eyes out. And the last few videos, we've been clicking plus and hitting mask layer. But this time we're going to do an empty mask layer. And by clicking empty mask layer, seemingly that layer has disappeared, but it's still there. You can see it's a mask layer because we've got the mask icon here. We've got the wee drop down, but everything in this mask layer is black, which means it's being hidden. Nothing is being shown for this layer. And this is the really fun part. If we go into the paintbrush now, and if we make it fairly big, we'll maybe make the hardness about 50%. And by choosing not black, because black won't do anything. Black, remember, an easy way when you're working on masking is to remember black is like nighttime, which means you can't see anything. If you want to see something in the daytime, it needs to be white or bright. Now if we click into this, we can see the effects of this adjustment layer, and you can see what we're doing there. 2 fingers undo, because simply what I want to do is get and change these eyes, getting nice and tight. And if I look at that, I'm just painting in. It's like magic. This is really, really nice. And if I go too far, I don't want the whites of the eyes, because we could fill in the whole pupil and the whole whites of the eyes, but it just doesn't look natural. It just doesn't look natural. If we go 2 fingers to undo, if we just concentrate on the actual eye, and then 2 fingers to move over, it maybe doesn't look like we're doing too much, but once we zoom out and we check out the before and after, and I maybe would have been tempted to feather us a wee bit more. But that's looking really, really good. Our eyes are really popping, and we'll take away this adjustment layer. That's what it was before, and that's what it is now. And those eyes are really, really popping out. They look class. Again, we're just turning them on and off, and there's a real focus on this girl's eyes now. Now, maybe you're thinking that's a bit too much, Andrew. The great thing, what we can do with an adjustment layer is clicking the adjustment layer, clicking the three dots, and by just bringing the opacity down, we can change it to something we're maybe a wee bit more happier with. If it's too blue, if it's too bright for you, bring it down. We'll put it right down to 0, but something like what, 66% if we go back and turn it on and off. That's really, really, really nice. And I'm not stopping there, because I think we could change this girl's eyes, or just for fun, let's change this girl's eyes. So we're going to go into the adjustment studio. We're going to go down to, we're going to go up maybe, to recolor. We're going to click on recolor, and whoa, what's going on now? She's all red. But I think if we made this girl's eyes green, that would look really, really cool. So we're just going to change the hue. We can just move it left to right. Now, there's green, but that's far, far, far too bright. So we can bring the saturation down a wee bit. We can even bring the opacity down, and maybe the lightness down a wee bit. Maybe the saturation up a wee bit. And by going into the layer studio again, we can turn this on and off. And we're going to do the same thing that we did with the brightness. I'm going to click on the recolor adjustment layer. I'm going to click on the plus icon, and I'm going to go to empty mask layer. And now that's completely gone. If we go back into our layer studio, you will see it's black. That means there's nothing visible. If we go to our brush tool, it's set on white. I'm maybe going to bring the hardness down to about 25%, so it gives it a wee bit more of a feather. Now, I'm excited to see what's going to happen here. Whoa. And 2 fingers. So if the eyes pop before with those blue eyes, they will, and I've made a wee mistake there, I'll just do 2 fingers to undo. They're really going to stand out now. And whoa, it's maybe a bit too mad, far too mad actually. But what we can do now is by going into the adjustment layer of the recolor, clicking into it, we can change the hue. And what's really cool is we can give her all different kinds of eye color. That is cool. So we're going to we'll find green. We can bring the saturation up, which is far too much. We can bring the saturation down a wee bit. I think if we bring the saturation up to 100, we'll bring the lightness to 0, but we'll just change this opacity down. 16's too little. Again, it's good fun because we're just really playing about with it. We'll maybe bring the saturation down. And we're just playing between the saturation and the opacity. Maybe the saturation down a wee bit more, opacity down. And let's see, that looks okay. By turning this adjustment layer on and off, it's a bit more, or it's a lot more natural of green rather than having the saturation way up here. That just doesn't look natural. And that is really nice. So we'll see what we started with. We'll hide these 2 layers. So it was a great picture beforehand. We brightened up the eyes to really make them pop. And then again, we gave her green eyes just to put a completely different spin on it. Hopefully you had a lot of good fun with this one. Download the image, it's in the description below. Check out adjustment layers. We're going to be going more and more into adjustment layers. And the powerful thing about adjustment layers is when they're used with masks, you can do some really amazing things. And again, we can hide this mask, and now she's turning green. Reshow it. We can hide that, and then that's just bring up the brightness. But really happy with how this turned out. So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learned something. Try it out yourself. It doesn't have to be in the photo that I used. Any photos you have, it works the same. The process works the same way. It's a lot of fun. Give it a go. You can do some crazy results, some quite freaky results, but it's a lot of fun. If you like this video, please give it a like. Please subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. There's lots more videos coming out soon. If you haven't already done so, watch this video on masking where I break down the fundamentals of masking, what masking is, how to do it. I think you'll enjoy it and hopefully learn something too. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day and I'll see you in the next video.